This is exactly how you create your own stunning, very popular 3D background using nothing else but Wondershare Filmora. What's going on, everybody? This is Filmora Mastery, and for more videos like this one, subscribe. Without wasting any of your time, right on the toolbar here, go ahead and select the drawing tool. And then straight onto your preview screen. Draw something like this.
Clips were scattered, so much to fix, sifting through them.
Now go to the right side of your preview screen where you find the properties of this shape that we have just drawn right here. Make it fit the screen. And don't worry about anything else, because our main issue is right down here on the fill. So what I'm going to do right here is to change the fill type to the gradient, like in this way, right here. And then the first color you select the color of your choice, and then the last color you select again of your choice. But for my case right here, this is the color that I have chosen so that I get something like this as a result. Well, you can play around with the angle here to make it fit the very best of your choice. And once you've done that, the very step number 1 is well done. You can now go to your internet and search for a grid image. Now you have to be very careful on this one because some of these grid images, they belong to other people. But if you don't want some risk, you can use mine right here, which I'm going to link in the description below, and that is if it suits your choice. Well, right after dragging this image right here, it looks like this, and of course you don't see what's behind the first layer all right. So this is what we're going to do right here. On the properties side, scroll down to the composition and then change it to pin light. After that, just below that, reduce the opacity to something like 74 or 75. Well, bear in mind that all of these settings, they depend with the type of image, type of overlay that you'll be using in that particular point, but you just have to figure it out as I'm giving you just a skeleton using this my example here. Boom! Oh, but it's not animated yet. All right, so now let me show you how to animate it. By the way, don't jump around, don't get off because this video is not over yet, and this is just the beginning. There are a lot of things to be done right here, so please stick around and watch till the end for the best result. Let's go. Now we need to animate this overlay. As you can see right now, it's a still image, and if we export this, it remains a still image, but we need it animated. All right, so how do we go about that? Very simple. On the Properties tab, I can increase the scale here to something like 127, and in that way, it allows you to have a room of animation, of course, through keyframes. And that simply means that you have to add a keyframe on the very first frame of your image overlay, which is going to be turned into a video in a minute. Well, now let's do it. Now, it depends what kind of animation do you want. If you want it to pan to the right side, that means you have to drag it all the way to the left side, like in this way right here, as you are seeing from my previous screen. If you want it to animate it downwards like vertical, right? That means you have to drag it down all the way to the top, like in this way that you are seeing right here. All right? And let's say this is how I would do it. And right now, on the last keyframe, you have to move it all the way to the down. All right. So that simply means we have this kind of an animation right here, okay? That's quite good. But one little problem here, this is very short. We want a long background, all right? So that means we have to create a loop effect on this image right here. So you have to be very careful on this one, all right? You have to duplicate this image right here, all right? And then reduce its opacity. Now you have to move it around to make sure that it squares the image below. And once the boxes have squared each other, that means that the loop is not going to be visible in any way. And then after that, my dear friend, you just have to set back the opacity and then duplicate this to the length of your own choice.
Detection, Filmora's got the perfect direction. Text to speech and motion graphics too. Every update I see.
Well, we are moving quite about. Well, but now there are very important things that we haven't done yet. You have to go on the effect. Drag down the effect that is called the Planet's Peg Overlay. All right? and drag this one between the first image and the second image. That means in the in-between trick.
Share Filmora, you're the key. A world of editing set free.
And after that, go to the stock media right there and drag down a black simple color image on the trick above. On the property side of this black image, right here, go to the mask here, and then select a circle. Adjust the circle mask only to cover the corners of the whole screen right here. And of course, right now, you just have to reduce the opacity a little bit,
From audio ducking to background blur.
and then increase the blur strength. And then lastly, invade the mask. So the image just have to bring this kind of a vintage effect, like this way, right here. Now the very last trick right here, my dear friend, to make everything the best, like you have never thought about. Select all these things, and then create what we call a compound clip. And now that we have a compound clip, just go on the color tab right here and make some few adjustments. But before that, just right here on the properties, adjust the auto enhance, just select it right here and then increase it to something like 60-65. And of course, it depends with the kind of images that you have chosen. All right? Go on the color tab right here and make some few adjustments.
Chasing shadows, counting costs, but now the work feels like a song. With every clip, I just belong.
And the first one, of course, is under the light tab. All right? So here, you just have to increase the contrast a little bit. And then the highlight. All right? And then lastly, the adjust. You have to make it sharp a little bit more. So I increase it to over around 20. Well, my dear friends, you are just done creating your best background ever. But one more little thing. My dear friend, if you want to use this background in any of your projects in the future, using different computer than the one that you are creating it in, right now, it's very simple. The very first step for that is to select your compound clip, and then use this option right here, which is called Create a Custom Compound Clip. All right? Save as a compound clip custom, all right? Once you have done that, you're going to see your compound clip right here showing up. And then you have to make sure that this option right here is selected, Sync Compound Clips to the Cloud. All right? So this allows you to find this compound clip in whichever computer that you are going to use for as long as you log in the same Wondershare ID. Well, my dear friend, thank you so much for watching this video to this very point. If you found some value, be sure to subscribe to help the growth of this channel. And until I meet you in the next episode, peace.
From AI portrait to scene detection, Filmora's got the perfect direction. Text to speech and motion graphics too. Every update I see something new.